Mr. Star the Twyla, 23 years of age, have discovered a planet that may not exist. And now I shall tell you all about it. But before I tell you that, a bit about myself. In the likely case this becomes a historical recording, I was born 23 years and 4 months ago precisely. My parents were astronomers and named me Star because they were sure I'd discover a star. They were wrong. I discovered a planet, and I did so with the stroke of my pen alone. At 22 years of age, thanks to an apparent drift in Uranus movement, I suggested the only possible explanation could be gravity from a planet outer to it. Shortly after, the planet was sighted and named Neptune. The humble discovery of Neptune awarded me the position of head of astronomy. And that would be that, had I now not found a planet that tortured my sanity by behaving the exact same way. Mercury, you too sway from your orbit. You too could be explained by a planet inner to you. You too would award me a planet discovery and years of fame and glory. Right? Wrong. Unlike Uranus, there were no previous sightings of another planet. And though its proximity to the sun could make it appear a sunspot, it should have been visible during solar eclipses. And thus, I, Star the Twyla, published my findings with no concrete proof, at 23 years of age. It has been 3 months since my last recording, and I record this development in the case of Vulcan, as I've come to call the planet. I received a letter clearly intending to mock me from a hobbyist claiming to spot Vulcan. I'm on my way to him now.
Hello, Mr. Schmaleel. Surely you wouldn't mind a few questions to test your account. What tool did you use to measure the transit? How did you estimate the full duration? Have you concrete evidence of your sighting? Why the months of silence? What side of the bed do you sleep on at night?
The hobbyist's discovery seemed accurate. He even seems of noble character. However unlikely, this does spark new hope in the case of Vulcan, in me discovering my second planet. To predict where Vulcan will be, I must find where was it visible before. Except it hadn't been visible before, because of its proximity to the sun. It would have appeared. Sunspot. If I examine the location of recorded sunspots and ran my calculation against them, comparing them to Vulcan's orbit as estimated from Mr. Schmaleel's sighting, compare them to their locations in the world, and choose the next solar eclipse dates, Vulcan should next appear in...
May I come in?
Sure.
How do you feel?
You always ask that. Why do you always ask that? As I was saying, Vulcan will next appear in 5 days. So I published my calculations and set forth to build and reside in a new observatory from which Vulcan will be visible. If it appears, I would discover my second planet. And if it doesn't, there will be a bigger mystery for me to solve.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How do you feel?
You always ask that. Why do you always ask that?
Why do you always repeat this scenario?
Touché.
Could you answer my question? You'll never find out if Vulcan existed. You died before you were able to.
Well, what would you do if you lost the best thing in the world like that? I was researching planets and stars. Galaxies, where it rains diamonds and snows glass.
looking back to see how the universe was created, looking forward to see how it'll end, only to fall ill and die at 23 years of age.
I can take you someplace you could move on.
I want to have what I had when I was alive. I don't want to move on.
I, Professor Star the Twyla, 23 years of age, have discovered a planet that may not exist. And now I shall tell you all about it.